Hey y'all, in for H&H here with the Yaesu FTX-1 Optima because it has the FT8 amplifier back there. Let me turn that down. So I've got it set up for FT8 now. I haven't made a contact yet with it, but let me show you something here. So in the radio itself, in the menu, radio setting, mode data, look at this, no changes, everything at default. Doesn't get any better than that. And then back here on the first page of the menu, let me zoom in, power output 50 watts max. All right, and then I'll pan up to the WSJTX screen over there. I want you to see that I've got the power slider at maximum, which means that I'm going to have full output of 50 watts once I get all my audio levels set properly. And I guess while we're on that subject, let me show you what I've got here. So first of all, you got to get the radio set up in WSJTX. So I've got I haven't updated my WSJTX in a while, so maybe there's a new version that has the FTX-1 in it. I don't know, but my settings are right there. Let me zoom in. So I've got the radio set at FT991, and the COM port is whatever COM port happens to be. For this radio with my computer is COM port 5. Data bits 8, stop bits 2, configured to match the radio. CAT control for push to talk, and I've got split operation set to none. And I did a test here, you test CAT, came back green, test push to talk, goes red, you're good. And then over here on the audio tab, in my case, just with my computer, and I didn't rename these, the input device will be microphone USB audio device, and the output will be speakers USB audio device. Yeah, it's different when the FTX-10 is hooked up. It's audio codec. So look, just the way it worked out with this Dell computer, this is what I'm getting. That actually took a while to figure out because I didn't like the idea of setting it to something called microphone to get my receive audio, but I wasn't getting any receive audio. Anyway, so that's all set, and let me get out of that and pan down over a little bit. So I wasn't getting the green bar over here for receive, which you want to hover around 50%. I wasn't getting that until I set the input device to be the microphone. Okay. Now, the critical thing is audio levels. I like to run the power slider, let me pan over to that here, at maximum so that I know at the top I'm going to get my full power, which is set at 50 watts. And the power output can vary according to what audio frequency you've set up there in the spectrum. See, right now I'm at 1050 hertz. And you can see that on the screen there, right there. Okay, so the power slider is at maximum, and then I go into my Windows audio settings. So I'm going to see my mouse there. Okay, I'm right-clicking over the speaker icon. Pan over so you guys can see that. So the speaker icon right there. I'm going to open sound settings. It's going to bring a big screen up. And the upper right, I'm going to sound control panel. And then that's going to bring this pop up. Let me move it over here so you can see it. All right. So you see right there the playback, which is what plays back to the radio. So that's a thing that messes with your mind a little bit. So you gotta get this. All right, pay very close attention. Playback goes to the radio. That's the audio going to the radio. That's the digital data you're going to transmit. And let me pull this slider down, and I'm using this one right here, speakers USB audio device. So if I select that and then hit properties, levels, I found that a setting of 10 worked with the radio's defaults. Okay, in other words, the COM port gain coming into the radio is at 50, which is the default. If I turned it down, I would turn this up. But what I'm looking for is transmitting with no harmonics. Okay, more on that in a minute. And those of you who have used my guide for setting FT8 up for the FT710, the FTDX10, FT8DX101, you know what I mean about, watching out for harmonics. All right, so 10 worked. 11 moved the ALC dial. Well, let me show you. Down to the radio. And I'm going to, let me get out of the menu. All right, and we're going to be looking down in here, see if I'm at 1050 hertz. If I have a second harmonic, it'll be up here around 2100. So I don't want to see a second harmonic in here. All right, I'm going to move the meter over to whoops, too late. There we go, ALC. And look what I did. Let me get back on memory there. Okay, so ALC, and I'm going into WSJTX. Got too many things on the screen there. Okay, and I'm going to hit the tune button. I don't have a dummy load selected. Tell you what, I'll go ahead and enable transmit. We'll see if we bag one. All right, so when it transmits, look, watch that ALC. Okay, you can see the ALC meter is not bumping up. Oh, I'm going to go up here and change that from 10 to 11. Oh, well, it went to 12. Whoops, see, 14. 10 seems to be optimum. Let me see if I can get it on 11 and see what happens. It's touchy. Okay, next time it transmits, it will be on 11. Okay, it's transmitting. And you can see the waveform there, and I don't see a second harmonic, so that's good. And the ALC meter, I forgot to pay attention to it. I'll watch next time. Okay, well, we'll see if we bag one. Now, if you're wondering, if you aren't aware of this, I'm running 50 watts maximum because I don't want to damage the finals in the radio. Yeah, ALC meter is not moving. All right, so I may be able to get away with, let's try 12. 12 is good. 13, oh, no. All right, well, now, I'll watch 13. 13 bumped up a little bit, but if it settles, I'm okay with that. Now, why do we do all this? Well, you want to get that right on the edge where the ALC meter just starts to move. But you see what it did? Bumped up and it settled back down. If it's settling back down, you're okay. If you want to be on the safe side, maybe you could run, in my case here, I could run 12 to be on the safe side. Let's go to power output and see what kind of power output we're getting. I'm not getting anybody. I've transmitted 4 times. I got to be getting out. I'm on my doublet antenna. Ah, got one. Okay, so power output's 50 watts. There we go. All right, well, I'm gonna ride with that. I'll go with the 13. Let me pan up there so you can see I've got one I'm working now. K5MGY, Kilo 5, Mike Golf Yankee. He is my first FT8 contact with this Yaesu FTX-1 Optima. So I'm sending him a -18 signal report. Let's see what I get back. Oh, while we wait. Now, let me let you watch that a minute because I got to move the camera for you to see what I want you to see next. And see, how this goes. Sometimes he might be working somebody else too, so I got to be patient here to get my signal report and complete the contact. So I've sent him his signal report 3 times. Okay, well, I'm not going to wait anymore. Let me move over here so you can see what I want you to see. All right, so now I'm going to go up here and change from the playback tab, playback again, and for me it's called speakers, USB audio device. You know, you can click on that and go to properties and rename it. I could rename that right now and call it, I guess I'll do that, FTX-1. Why do that? Because you can. It doesn't matter as far as function. Okay, so I want to go over to the recording tab. Remember, that is the signal that is coming from the radio into WSJTX. And in my case, it's the microphone. Remember, it was called microphone. But USB audio device. I'm going to hit properties and I'm going to change that to FTX-1. All right, and then levels, and I'm running 70. And what you want to do is you want to run a setting that will get you approximately in that 50% range over there on the signal meter. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pan down to WSJTX so you can see the signal meter there. It's hovering around 40 right now. Watch what happens. I'm going to go up here. Let me drag that down so you can see. There we go. I'm going to move this up. On the next receive cycle, it'll be on 100. So I'm going to be pumping 100% audio back into WSJTX. It'll go too high. I don't want to get above 50%, and I'm at 70. So I'm just going to lower that, and don't get confused. I was at 70, and 70 was giving me 50%. Okay, what I'm saying is when I run this at 100, it was getting up this dial over here. The signal meter for WSJTX was hitting 70. You want that to hover around 50%. So looks like for my computer, everybody's is different, by the way, but for my Dell computer here, 70 is hovering a little above 40. I might bump it up to 75. Okay, I'm gonna watch that one more cycle. I don't mind it going above 50 a little bit, but I don't want to live there, okay? If it's dancing a little above and below 50, I'm okay with that. Yeah, 75. Looks like 75 is going to be good. It's hanging right around the 50 mark. So I'm going to apply and okay that. And okay out of here. So those are the audio settings in the computer. That's very critical. I mean, it's extremely critical. And you want to get to the point where, you know, you've got the ALC meter just barely moving and settling back like you saw it do. And boy, I've been trying to give this guy a signal report forever. Okay, I'm going to start over. Just call CQ again. I don't know what happened to him. So I guess he's not going to be my first contact. All right, so I'm calling CQ again. And let me pan down to the radio. You can see I'm a little bit below 50 watts. I don't care. I don't really want to get, I'm not real, how do I put this? I'm not all that keen on getting to 50 watts, okay? I want to make sure the finals in this radio are protected. FT8 is about 84% duty cycle, near enough to 100. You don't want to take a chance, okay? The final transistors, now some radios will say that they are rated for 100% duty cycle for FT8, you know, at full power. There's a few out there like that, so, you know, fine, but I don't know of any Yaesus that are rated that way. So you want to run half power max. It has to do with heat dissipation, getting that heat away from the final transistors. So don't take a chance. You know, 100 watts is only 3 dB, which is a half a S unit, okay? And WSJTX is not even, let me turn that down. WSJTX doesn't care about S units. The signal reports are in signal to noise ratio. In fact, I might run DNR a little bit just to improve that signal to noise ratio for other people. I would run it on 3 or 4, maybe 5. It'll give them a better signal report. It especially does that on the FTX-10. Let me show you something else you might want to watch. I like to keep the meter on SWR, but if you've been operating for a while, maybe consider putting it on temp. Watch when I transmit. Okay, you don't want to get to the red. But there you go, the temp meter. Just wanted to throw that in there as a little bit of a bonus. Now, if I want to cut my power in half, I go over here to the power slider and I drop it by 3 dB, 3.1 I think I hit. Okay, so when I transmit, let's see what I get. Yeah, so 25. And if I want a 50 back, I'm just going to go over here and do the power slider all the way back up, and you'll see it went back to 50. Okay, well, I don't think I'm getting it. Oh, nope, got a taker. Canadian. Victor Alpha 5, Kilo Echo November. So let's see what kind of signal I get to Canada with about, I would say that's about 45 watts with my doublet antenna. See if I can complete this one. Oh, I'm getting him plus 0.8. Plus 0.8. Okay, again, that's not S units. Signal to noise ratio. Wow, bagged him that quickly. Okay. So let me change my power setting up, power output. Oh, you are not seeing what I'm doing. I'm logging them. I've got mine set to automatically pop up the log screen in case I have to change something here. So I'm changing the power to 45 watts and hitting OK. And there's another one that called me, so I'm going to double click his call sign and go back to him. I've got him at a plus 0.2. And VA5KEN, I wonder if his name's Ken. He sent me a 73. My signal report with him was a minus 15. Not super strong. But again, I'm running, okay, so I'm running 45 watts and I'm in my on my doublet. For Canada, I probably should not have been on my doublet. It has a null in certain parts of Canada to that, in the direction of certain parts of Canada. Okay, I got this one. Let's see, what did he give me? He gave me a minus 0.8, so a little better. Don't know where he was. XE1, Mexico. Yeah. All right, so maybe before I go, I'll just call CQ one more time, see what I get. Let me pan down and let you watch the radio. That's what you really want to see, isn't it? And there it is. Now, I like to keep the meter set to SWR. I just don't like to take chances on, you know, and I see that I don't have the antenna tuner. I like to call them antenna matching unit engaged, but see, the last thing I did was tuner, so tuner is the option up there. So I just turned it on, dropped that SWR. See, without it, it's a little over a 2-to-1. There we go. That's what I want to see. That's a great example of why I like to leave it set to SWR. I want to know, especially with FT8, you want to make sure that your SWR is as low as possible. I would say, you know, 1.5 or less is fine, but you know, looks like I've got two more takers. You want to keep that SWR low for FT8 again, because it's already hard on the finals from the heat. So fortunately you got a rest period while you receive. But even with that rest period, you want to try to keep the power at 50% or less. A lot of people will tell you they make contacts with 15 watts, 25 watts. Let's see, IK8 NSR. So let's see, that'd be Italy. And let's see, I gave him a +0.2. He gave me a -10. Let me pan up there, you can see. And then let's see, the other one was a KJ5. Let me go back to him. I've got him +0.8. Boy, I'm receiving well. I wonder if I have DNR on. I'll check in a minute. Hope y'all enjoy these kind of videos. I mean, it's what I've been doing for all these years, and I think it's just a select group that like this kind of information, and thankfully enough of them support the channel via Patreon donations that I can, so I can do this. Yeah, I do have DNR on. It's 7. Okay. Now see, I'm going to turn it off. Oh, let me log that contact. So I just turned the DNR off, and it's going to be hard to say it's, random, but see if I generally don't receive people quite as well. Because again, the signal reports are signal to noise ratio with FT8, FT4. And while I transmit there, let me point something else out to you. And you probably know you can do this, but just in case, in WSJTX, I created a configuration up here under configurations. When I go back to the TS890S, I've got a configuration right here for it, and I've got one created for the FTX-1. So once you go through all of this setup, it's nice to be able to toggle back and forth between radios using that configurations option there. Okay, so DNR is off. So I've gotten Italy. I didn't see KJ5, so somewhere maybe Texas, Oklahoma. Although that doesn't always mean anything anymore. We don't have to tie our call signs to our region. But I'll check. I'll see where he is. In fact, I think he was the only contact in the States so far. We got Canada, Italy, and Mexico. KJ5 KTC, KJ5 KTC. Just typing that into my search over here for the QRZ. Oh, come on, QRZ. It made me log in again. It does that sometimes. Okay, yeah, Texas. Hey, Paul. One of my first 4. I think you're the 4th contact with this FTX-1 on running FT8. No takers right now. Got a half a mind to go to 40 meters. This band's really busy, and I could be getting stepped on. I'm at 1,050 hertz. Let me get up there and yeah, I am getting stepped on. Y'all, look at that. I need to move. See, I'm right there, and there's see all that orange right there on the top edge. Let me move here. I'm gonna try. I'll go here, 1100. Or 1150. Give you some real. Oh wow. K6 KC1 just got one. All right, and I got a WB5 BCA. Go back to him. Yeah, you want to watch out for that. Check that waterfall, as it were. You want to make sure that your red bar where you're transmitting is in a clear area. And see all that orange right there? That's a really strong signal. And it was encroaching on the top edge of my signal. Okay, so I'm giving this guy a minus 0.8. Remember, we were going to look at that. And I gave the other, let's see, I gave him a plus 0.3. Oh, no, wait a minute. He gave me a plus 0.3. What was my signal? He gave me a minus 0.9. I gave him a minus 0.9. So I'm not giving those higher signal reports right now. Let's do one more and just see what happens. Let me complete this one. This W5BCA. W5BCA. Also Texas. Hello, Bruce. Well, may not be able to complete that one, Bruce. But, okay, I apologize. FT8 videos do tend to run a little bit longer. There's so much to cover. You guys that are just getting into amateur radio and diving into FT8, you can probably appreciate complexities of it. I just had a 1.5 hour conference with one of the S9 Patreon members who subscribes annually. They get to have Zoom consults with me. They get a lot of perks, access to all the material I have over on Patreon, videos and written content, guides, setup guides, menu optimizations, FT8 guides, and they also can ask questions and request Zoom consultations. So I just finished up one earlier helping Fairleigh New Ham get FT8 going. I've done many of those. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to complete this contact with Bruce, but I want to keep this video under 30 minutes. So let me just say that I appreciate those of you who watch my videos, who click like. You know, it makes a big difference on YouTube. That's why you hear everybody say that all the time, because YouTube can penalize you if people don't watch your video all the way through, if they don't click like. So I do appreciate you doing that. Also, I'm going to acknowledge here at the end of the video 5 of those Patreon team members I call long haulers. These are S9 level. There's 3 levels, S5, S7, S9. S9s are called VIP, S7s are called executive level, and then there's S5, which is associate level. And the S9s have access to the most content. S9s who subscribe annually, that they pay annually, also can ask me questions and request Zoom consultations and things like that. So I want to acknowledge 5 of those S9 VIPs I call long haulers. Why do I call them long haulers? Because they have been supporting the channel for years. Otherwise, this video or hundreds and hundreds of others would not exist. I can't do this from the YouTube ads. 98% of the funding comes from the Patreon members. So as I end the video, I'm going to pull up 5 of those Patreon team members and acknowledge them, and I hope you will too. Thanks for watching, and 73 from N4HNH.